Hello, pproteus here, back for another arena draft. Today we are going into Lost Caverns of Ixalan. Format is new and I'm excited. We're going to be first picking this rare, which is kind of like a board wipe. Black maybe not the best color of the format, but you know, we don't have to play it. We're just taking the rare. Seems like a strong card and definitely the kind of thing you can build around, but again, don't need to. In pack number 2 here, we got a couple of black cards around. I think we're going to take Synapse Necromage, this kind of token sacrifice thing, giving you lots of fodder for the stuff you want to be doing. I think we're going to be taking that. This is other black uncommon, which definitely has some potential. I had an opponent play it against me, that seemed pretty good, but it's also like kind of slow. You have to have a creature attacking alone. You have to spend a whole lot of mana before you get to draw any cards. I think this Nautilus is also like pretty decent. It's a nice blue artifact. It's a lot of synergies. There are some decent cards in other colors, decent commons, but I think it's good to take the higher rarity black card. Try to focus in on this specific strategy. Pack number 3, we got a choice here. I think there's 2 cards that jump out at me. We've got this uncommon Eaten by Piranhas, which is just kind of a really good removal spell. It's like 2 mana, basically kills anything because it's got flash, so you can use it during combat, and then it turns on Descend because it's permanent. Your permanents can go into the graveyard when their 1/1 dies. The black card in this pack is Soul Coil Vapor, which can be good if you have, say, cycling things in your graveyard or things that end up in your graveyard really easily. It is not something I would first pick over Eaten by Piranhas, but it definitely is tempting now that I have 2 black cards. You know, why don't I go for it? It's early in the format. Let's find out what these commons and uncommons do. In pack number 4, we got a similar. There's Eaten by Piranhas again, but now that I've taken these 3, I'm ready to kind of ignore this Eaten by Piranhas a little bit. I think we're just gonna take a Dead Weight. This card's been around for a long time. It's always been great. Not a lot of uncertainty in my mind here. See, some red cards that seem pretty decent. I really like these Discover Lands. I think they're kind of great. But, yep, no, Dead Weight. I like having a theme on black cards. Black is not doing too well in the stats, but that doesn't mean you can't build a black deck. It just means maybe it's not obvious how to do it on week 1, which means, of course, maybe I suck at it too. But you gotta try, otherwise you're not gonna learn. If we were to continue in this pack, take black cards, I think I would take Defossilized. This is a pretty sweet card. It's your reanimate card, so it synergizes with the Soul Coil Vapor, and that they kind of want you to do the same things. Just put big things in your graveyard. Hopefully you get some of those common cyclers. The other option is we could take Dawn Runner, which is a pretty excellent card by all accounts. Either 3 mana 1/1 double strike draw card, or 3 mana 2/2 double strike surveil is just a lot of stats. A lot of stats for a 2-drop. I think I'm going to take the black card, but I think here it's actually pretty close. And now it is pack 6, and we're going to have to pick a card that is not black, because I don't think I want to be doing the Mythic Draft. I don't think I want to be doing that quite yet. The best commons here, I think, are the Rock Slide, just a reasonable, kind of okay removal spell, and Iron Paw Aspirant, which is just, 2 mana 2/3 upside. Great common. Don't think any of the other cards are all that exciting. We're going to go with the Rock Slide here, but it may be that white is more open and we should take the Aspirant instead. In pack 7, I see we got a couple of these uncommons. We already have one of these Necromages. There's also this Cyclop Raptor, which is this 3 mana 4/3. I think I kind of want to take this, even though we established ourselves as one Necromages already. We don't really have any cards that point us towards sacrifice themes. And yeah, we also only have 1 red card. Don't have to play red. But I think that the Raptor is pretty good. It's a build around too. The build around that says just, we want cheap cards, we want to hit your face. I don't think that's all that bad. This is the last new pack of pack 1, I think. Best card in the pack is probably this Bat here. It's either that, it's just, 1 mana 1/1 flying lifelink does not need a lot of upside, but this guy has it. You could take the 3 mana Shock, which is probably fine. This is the first pack. Here are the cards that have wheeled, and I don't like any of them at all. I don't really want to play any of these cards. I think I'm going to take... Man, I don't want these things. I'm going to take the red card. We don't want this, right? We're not going to fungal fortitude. I don't know. Maybe I should take the black card just in case anybody gets any ideas. I don't really think this is very good, though. Here is the spike tail I was talking about, the common cycler. Gotta put it into the graveyard and then defossilize it. It's also the Grasping Shadows, but I'm a little bit skeptical of Grasping Shadows as like a main strategy. And I already said I really wanted to be doing this part, so I'll just take the cycler. In this pack, I see Tomb Raider is probably pretty good if you have a lot of artifacts, but I don't think we have a lot of artifacts. So I'm going to take this Skull Taker here. This is kind of an aggro card. What it wants you to do is it wants you to attack and trade on turn 2, and then you got yourself a 3-mana 3/3 menace with upside, which is pretty excellent. We're going to take another cycler over here. Monstrosaur is it's a decent body, and it's even got an extra ability that lets you draw cards. So that's the kind of thing I like on my 6-drop. Alright, pack 2. We got a fancy legendary here. This seems probably pretty decent in a vacuum, but maybe not good over here, because I don't know how we're going to cast that. There is a Petrify. Got love 2-mana arrest with upside. I think I really just want to lean into black-red. It's a good 2-drop here. The 2-mana 3/2 trample with upside. Am I reading that right? They didn't used to just print 1 in a red 3/2 tramples with upside. That uncommon. Yep. All right. I think we're doing black-red. This pack here is quite interesting. I'm not really sure what to do. Unstable Glyph Bridge is definitely a bomb rare. It's a Wrath. I don't know if I need to say more than that. It's a Wrath that also turns into a 5/3 flyer. Seems pretty incredible. Problem is it's double white, and white is not looking deep in my specific card pool. There's this card, which I'm not sure is good, or if it is good, I don't really understand how to use it. Then there's like a cycler and a land. I like those, but not in this deck. Who knows? I'm just going to take the Wrath because it's maybe doesn't require so much thinking as the other options. I don't know. I just didn't see anything in black or red that really looked like things I really, really wanted to be doing. So I might as well hedge on being white-black. And, well, maybe we should just be white-black. Maybe this card is worth it. It's better than any of these medium red cards. But then we open this pack, and the best card in this pack is just the rare, I think. I mean, you have to have artifacts. You have to have artifacts, but it is rare, and this is the kind of rare you can build around and do stuff with, so it is at least mildly exciting. The next pack now has, well, we got a mythic. How's this mythic? 6-mana 6/6 Vigilance. If you make a token, you make more. When it dies, you get a land that maybe transforms back. That seems pretty good. Yeah, maybe we should just abandon these red cards. Now we got 2 bomb rares. I mean, maybe this isn't bomby enough, like it's just a 6-mana 6/6 Vigilance, unless you can assemble one of the synergies. So I'm not sure, but I'm definitely thinking about it. We could also just like get rid of the black cards if we really wanted, because I guess the black cards look a little more difficult to use for sure. So for example, in this pack there's a braid. You could take this braid, and that's kind of exciting. Pretty happy to have a braid around. There's also another one of these Skull Takers. Happy to have the first one, definitely be happy to have a second one. Tithing Blade is definitely fine. Kind of just want a braid. Like, it's a kind of card we can just splash. Even if we are just black-white, we can splash and braid, because there are lots of high-value artifacts around that we might want to kill. This next pack here, Abyssal Gore Stalker? No, I don't think we want to be doing that. That seems way too fancy. I think I'm just going to take a land here. I do like these lands. I think they're good, and you don't really need a lot of aggressive stuff on the ground, so this doesn't really mess up your curve too much. Best card in this pack, I'm looking at this Dreadmaw's Ire. I think that I just said I don't like being aggressive too much, but this is really efficient. This is what I want out of a 1-mana combat trick. That it gives your thing trample and tries to be a 2-for-1. I'm gonna take that. Maybe we're just white-red and I just give up on all these black cards. Black is maybe not the deepest color, but also, maybe I'm biased against it because I see all these good cards in these other colors, and I'm like, why am I taking good black cards when there's like an 8th pick of Braid? Like, isn't a Braid, like, a lot of people say this is just the best common overall, and maybe it isn't, it's still early in the format, who's to say, but if a Braid is the best common overall, and it's going this late, or even if enough people think that it's the best common overall and it's going this late, then why am I not in red taking them? I want to be that person who's getting the great commons go late. Here we can take a Dynamaton or a Sunfire Torch. I think I'll take the dinosaur. We had some kind of dinosaur synergy, right? What does this card do? Dinosaurs, you make treasures. When you cast an artifact, make a 3/1 once per turn. Okay. Here we're just going to take this Lattice. I think this is a Tormenting Voice that crafts with a dinosaur. Tormenting Voice that draws an extra card. That sounds pretty excellent. Here we get another Sunfire Torch, or I guess we didn't take the previous one. We get a Sunfire Torch. Here we can take a Dynamaton again, or we can take an Altasaur. I like spreading out the curve. I think I'm going to take the Altasaur, just to make sure I have more expensive cards. Atali's Favor. I'm not sure the verdict has come down on this card, but I haven't cast it yet, so I'd like to try it out. Let's just find pretty good as far as 2-drops go, where it's good at blocking, and it has an ability that's actually good in the late game. Oh boy, what does this rare do? It's pack 3, and we've opened Pump Your Skeletons. When it enters the battlefield, make a 2/2, which is really a 3/2 with haste. And then if you descended, you can return this to your hand. Yeah, that card's probably pretty good. I guess white's not looking too open, even though we have a lot of... I'm just going to take this. The next best card is like this Pirate, probably, because we're definitely in red. Yeah, I'm not really sure what I'm trying to do here, which is probably not a great sign for me. Like, I like that I have... This card isn't even good. I like that I have, like, 2 white rares, but at this point now I just don't have a lot of white cards. I look at this pack and I'm like, I can get one of these Necropolises, I can get a Defossilize, or I can take like a medium white card like a Tinkerer's Tote. And I would rather take a black card. I'm going to take a Cave. I think the Caves are pretty great. I'll have to think about whether I can splash anything, but given this distribution of mana cost where the 2 good white cards are double white, probably not. Probably I just have to get rid of all these, just give up. But then I see this pack, and this pack here has, all the good cards are white. Clay Fire Bricks is a card I like a lot. Just cycles on 2 basically, gains some life, and then draws you an extra card late. Mischievous Pup is also pretty good. Market Gnome that's about all you can ask for on a 1-drop. I'm a little indecisive here. I don't really know what I want to be doing. This pack has a Pickaxe, which, I've heard good things about this Pickaxe. I'm not really sure I get it. So I'm going to be hedging on the Pickaxe, I guess. Take a Grasping Shadows. I'm going to take this Deathcat Marionette. Good blocker on 2. Helps me turn on graveyard stuff. This pack has a Bat Calming, which is pretty good if you've got a bunch of caves. We've got 2 caves. That's not a lot. It's not a lot of caves. Springload Saw Blades is kind of a great card. Keeps getting me. 2 mana for a deal 5, basically. It's a 2 mana Sandblast. That is pretty good, and it also just draws a card. This is the kind of card that not only can I play, but I really wouldn't hate splashing, because it's only single pip. It's much easier to splash than a lot of the other cards. In this next pack, I'm going to have to decide. Miner's Guidewing has got to be better than this Torch, but I'm not sure I want to be playing white, so I'm not going to take the Guidewing. I'm doing a bad job of committing to good colors, and as a result, I usually like to build my deck a little more rather than just put things in piles. but I really just don't know what I want to be doing because I haven't drafted black deck yet in this format, and also looking at this deck, I don't even know what color I want to be in. We're gonna take this take the Skull Taker. Another chance is probably not terrible. Here we're gonna take a Militia. Glorifier Suffering is not great, right? If you've got tokens, if you've got like little treasure tokens you can sack, sounds pretty excellent, but I think we're unfocused enough. We're not going to be hitting those energies enough. Ooh, Pirates came back. I'm very happy the Pirate came back. I really would like to splash, I think we're going to be playing black-red, and I'm going to splash the Saw Blades, maybe splash Clayfire Bricks. That is fairly easy to splash. I'll just take, I'll take that thing. Maybe not play that one. Mischievous Pup is pretty decent. If we're looking at splashing white, you know, if we were playing white main, I think I would take the Aspirant. But if we're just splashing, I think the Pup is better because it's better to do in the late game. And this Pickaxe is wheeled. Should we play the Pickaxe? Who knows? Maybe. I might. I'll think about it. Bat Colony wheeled, but we only have like 2 caves. And that's just not worth it. We might play the second Dino. And oh boy, this is going to be a tough build. See you in a minute. Okay, so let's do something a little different here. I want to take a look at a couple ways to build this deck. So here's one option. This is kind of the most straightforward way to build this, where we're just going to do red and white because we got the white rares and we got enough red cards that we know red's our main color. And you just build the deck in the obvious way. Don't splash anything. What do I notice here? I notice the curve kind of sucks. I don't have a sense yet of how important the curve is in this format. Could be more important, could be less. I think either way I build this, if I build it like red, white, or red, black, or even something fancier, I think either way I will be kind of upset with myself that I didn't commit to a lane earlier in the draft. I kind of just took cards and left the problem of what we're going to play until later. That's not ideal. Really shouldn't be doing that. But nevertheless, I gotta pick something. I think this doesn't look too bad. It's definitely got what you would want from a deck with bad curve, which is that creatures I do have, many of them are just quite defensive. And I've got, you know, sweepers, lots of cheap removal that works well when the opponent's attacking me, and hopefully, you know, a couple of value engines that will allow me to take over in the late game. Okay, and here is the other way of doing that, black-red, and I gotta say, like, immediately after putting this together, it's pretty obvious that I prefer the other one, that I prefer white-red. So one thing you got is, well, you don't really have a better curve. You got these black cards that don't really help very much. Corpse of the Losses, this is just gonna be a great card. I would definitely consider splashing it in the Boros build, but I think it just doesn't really play that well and may not be worth, you know, like a lot of the value basically is playing on turn 3 as a 3/2 with haste. And you're losing that if you have trouble, you know, being able to cast it, period, which we're going to do. So another issue is that some of our good cards we don't really get to play. So like the Skull Taker, well, the Skull Taker is at its best when you are trading very early on. And we're not doing that because we have these 1/3s. So we probably shouldn't be playing these, especially when we have this glut of 3s. Another thing we can't play is Poetic Ingenuity because a lot of the artifacts are white. We didn't get to play them. I guess this Spring-Loaded Saw Blades, I think given this, I would probably still splash it. Saw Blades is better to splash than the corpses, by the way, because the corpses, if you splash them off the treasure, the way to get value is you've got to be able to play it again. But if you only got one treasure off of your plundering pirate, then you can't play it again, stuck. Whereas Saw Blades, you got your value by casting it the first time, and yeah, I guess you kind of need to craft it, but again, the second craft, that can wait a long time. Whereas with the corpses, like, the value is, a lot of it is just how quickly can you get the creature on the board, because the value there is basically the supposed infinite value of this thing is going to go back to my hand again and again and again. Whereas Saw Blades is just, it's a 2-for-1, and that's it. You just need 1 white mana to get a 1/1, and then you need a second white mana to get the 2/1. It doesn't ask anything else for you, and these are both above rates. Both halves are above rate. Whereas corpses is kind of both halves are always below rate. Every time you get a 3 mana 3/2, that's below rate. But the goal, the reason why that's supposed to be appealing is because you can do it over and over again. And I'm kind of just worried that we can't do that. That was a long-winded way of saying that, yeah, this deck should probably be splashing this card somewhere. I'll figure it out. But I think also just looking at this just kind of seems worse. I would rather play the Poetic Ingenuity deck. The black cards actually aren't adding that much. I like the Defossilize, I like the Terror Tide, I like the Corpses. Those are all good things. But at the core of this is a red deck, not a black deck, and, well, I guess I messed up taking all those black cards in the draft. So put Boros Sack together, and let's run into the games. Definitely a lot of little tweaks I might make as the draft progresses. For example, I've got a couple artifacts. If I feel like I want to hit my artifact synergies, I don't know about this pickaxe, but I've heard it's good, so maybe it should be in the deck. I'd play 1 torch because I was worried about not being able to attack enough. I've already got 1 torch and a Dreadmaw's Ire, and that's probably already too much needs to attack stuff for the deck. You could also consider splashing black, but I'm not having it. Alright, match 1, let's get started. Get a hand that is missing white mana, but we got 2, 3, 3, 4 in mono red. So as long as we draw 1 land, I'm sure we will be fine. Seismic Monster Shore is some definition of a land. Okay, there's a mountain. Probably would like to not cycle this Monster Shore. Rather just play my creatures. We're gonna poke the opponent here, and I believe just play the 4/3 because it is the biggest, and I don't think it's gonna die. Black, blue, not representing, say, any counter spells. Oh, okay, well, all right. Match number 2. Match number 2, hopefully our opponent, Poop 69, will give us a little more challenge. I'm already, just from these hands, I'm already feeling the awkwardness of this Dreadmaw's Ire. Really, I just don't want to spend the effort of trying to attack and then trying to get them to make a block. That gets them blown up by Dreadmaw's Ire. It's probably just way too much work. But on the other hand, it's maybe not terrible. I don't know. I'm worried about it. I'm all of a sudden much more skeptical. The thing is, if I get it to work, it can be a 2/1 for 1 mana, and that just might be worth it. Opponent cast Sage of Days, so look at 3 cards, put 1 on the back, and put these 2 into the graveyard. We're gonna go. So this militia doesn't block, right? It doesn't do a remotely good job of blocking, so we're going to attack. And then we'll have to think about if they do block, it makes it really easy. We just cast the Ire. Yeah, we're not getting a 2/1, but we're doing fine. It's okay. It's okay. We can cast the Tormenting Voice. We can abrade something. Probably rather just play the Spat. Maybe I should have abraded it and just held the Ire, but I was kind of feeling how awkward the Ire was, and I just kind of wanted to get out of my hand. One plays Deep Cavern Bat, which is a little Mesmeric Fiend with flying and lifelink. Let's see what they take here. Probably are going to take the Abrade, I would have to guess. Yep, not at all surprised by that. Opponent wants to trade. I will be happy to trade. Ooh, okay, I need to read this card again. Cast it for each player. Choose a creature with power 2 or less that player controls. Then destroy all other creatures. I actually want to not trade them because I want to leave them with this Siren. This Mischievous Pup looking perhaps not great. So it's not great because it's gonna just die to this Cliff Bridge. It's not gonna be able to attack. It's gonna get stuck behind their 1/1s. So I think I'm gonna play the Lattice here. Basically what I'm doing is I'm looking for lands. I specifically want to find something that will let me cast this Cliff Bridge. Probably tapped wrong. Both of these actually suffer from the problem that they get killed by the Cliff Bridge, but the Dino is better specifically because it doesn't have to issue. Ooh, I get to scry. That's kind of excellent. I also just don't want this. I want lands. what was I saying? It doesn't have the issue that it can't really attack, right? If I'm going to be attacking with something, I want it to not trade for their Spyglass Siren, because I want to keep the Siren around to use the Glyph Bridge on. Okay, opponent is not seizing me again. So they're going to see 2 bomb rares and then 2 castable spells, and they have to make a choice. That's kind of funny. This card has a craft with 2 creatures, but I think they just have 2 creatures in their graveyard already. 6 mana to make a 5/4. It's a big ask. They took my 6-drop, which really is not what I would have taken if I were my opponent, because I'm pretty far away from casting a 6-drop. So we can play the Dino here. But they also know that the Glyph Bridge is coming, which is kind of awkward. I think I want to play the Dino. I just want to put Tempo on the board. It's okay if I give this guy Menace, because I will trade my bat for their bat. So they want a double block, I'll trade and I get the Abrade back in hand. It's a Siren specifically that I don't want to trade for. And then we can't block, so we can use this ability and poke them for damage. And the Glyph Bridge is like, that's my game plan, but also it's not good on this board and they know about it. So we're going to play this awkward waiting game where I say, I'm ahead on board, you have to do something, and then as soon as they commit to the board, I get to play the Glyph Bridge and flip the board in my favor. Bat dies, sure. Ooh, Poetic Ingenuity. Whenever my dinosaurs attack, I make treasures. Okay, let's do that. Okay, got to make a treasure. And then we're going to use the Militia, tap the treasure, ping the opponent. Opponent's going to have to cast something into the Glyph Bridge and then get glyphed. So I'm quite happy with how this game is going so far. That's just not terrible for me. Okay, opponent cast a 5/5 into the Glyph Bridge. This guy has Menace, so we can actually just attack first. And oh wait, why did I think that was going to work? Hey, it doesn't matter. Okay, I need to not kill the Siren. Pretend I didn't say that. For each player, choose a creature with power 2 less that player controls. So that's mandatory. So I wasn't going to be able to do anything differently anyways. I forgot I was going to get a 3/1. So you get to keep this guy, and I get to keep this guy. Braid goes back to my hand, and then we can activate Militia. But it is going to be able to do this, get their 5/4, but it's not like it has lifelink or anything. They're in a little bit of trouble. And if they don't do this right away, I can Abrade it. Abrade has kind of an interesting interaction with Craft, because Craft exiles the artifact as part of the cost. So what this means is, well, I can't Abrade this because this half is just a creature. It's not an artifact. And the other half I would just have to really preemptively hit. There's no other option. Okay, what does this do on the other side? It's a 5/3. No, I really just want to kill this 5/4. I don't like that. And then activate the Militia a couple times. Poke. Yeah, the Lattice is, I'm going to be able to do this, right? Craft with dinosaurs. I have a dinosaur in my graveyard, so I can turn this into a 4/4. Opponent has summoned the Myco Tyrant. What is this? At the beginning of your end step, make X 1/1s that can't block, where X the number of times you've descended, and its power and toughness are equal to the number of funguses. And okay, that's all confusing. I should probably just Abrade that right this minute. Alright, just don't overthink it. They've got a 3/3 that's going to grow. Let's kill that before it gets bigger. We can play a Plundering Pirate, so sack that treasure, make a second treasure, and then keep using the Militia. Poke. Opponent's life total is getting very low. They got one more Discover. Try and hit something good. They hit, yeah, that's not awful. They hit a 4/3. But actually, the 4/3 isn't going to be able to block something with Menace. Do I have a way to kill them this turn? So, first of all, I've got 5 mana here. The obvious thought is just play the 4/5. But actually, this guy can't block this if I give Menace to the Plundering Pirate. So let's just play the Plundering Pirate. I even get an extra token. Oh, okay, sweet, we got him. I was going to give Menace to the 3/2. They only we're going to be able to block with one thing, which means that, you know, Menace can't block. So that was going to be 3 to the face, and then 1, 2, 3 damage off the Militia. That Militia did a lot of work. That was sweet. Game number 3 versus Spaghetti Banana. This hand is a little bit awkward, especially with this aura and no creatures. It's possible I shouldn't have been playing this aura, but I want to get some reps in with it. I've had a bunch of opponents play it against me, so it can't be that bad. We are going to get to... The reason this is an obvious keep, though, is because we get to bricks on 2, gain some life, and then we're going to get to glyph on 5 guaranteed. Because of that, the opponent is... They're only going to be able to get so far ahead in the time that we're not playing creatures. And eventually they're going to get they're going to get in trouble because we got a sweeper, and they're probably not going to play around me having a sweeper. Wow, opponent's got a 4-5 on turn 3. That's powerful. All I got says a little torch. Okay, opponent plays Compass Gnome, tutoring for Captivating Cave, and then plays the Soul Coil Viper, which we saw in our draft. I've already talked about that card. So I'm just going to glyph this. I was hoping not to have to lead them with the frog, because the frog fixes their colors. I'd much rather them leave them with a 2-1 that doesn't tap for mana, and either way we're probably going to kill it with the torch, and as soon as we can stick a creature and attack with it. Glyph Bridge can also kind of just craft with whatever, but I would rather not craft too arbitrarily. This is funny. So we don't have any artifacts. We've already just played our artifacts. I could go Militia here, but the problem with Militia is the opponent could just have some instant speed removal spell, and then we run into trouble. And in fact, they're probably saving that instant speed removal spell. It's quite likely to have it. They're saving it to hit this 5/3, which is very sensible. But I don't want to get in the 2-for-1, so I'm gonna take all of that into account. Also accounting for, I want to get some of these into the graveyard so I can craft without 2-for-1ing myself. And just activate this courtyard and see if we hit something that functions. Just kind of anything will be fine. Okay, we've hit a Mischievous Pup. That's actually kind of okay, because we can return either return the Glyph Bridge to my hand again, or we can return this Clay-Fired Bricks and just get another land. I think I'm going to return the Glyph Bridge. Definitely funnier to bounce the thing that sweeps. Oh, I guess if I return... Oh, they're braiding. Okay. Well, that actually just turned out very okay. Because now I'm going to be able to... So if I had crafted, they would have seen this 5/3, they would have been able to braid the 5/3. So this is quite alright. Opponent has made a 6/6 that has a little difficulty attacking sometimes. I'm going to cast... Oh, actually, maybe I want to cast Ingenuity first, because we're not going to do the torch thing yet. We might hit an artifact off the Tally's Favorite. Maybe? Do we actually have an artifact that costs 2 or less? I forget. Maybe these 2 are the only ones. Let's see what we got. We get a 3/2 with Trample. Okay. Seeing worse. No attack. Pass the turn. So this is an interesting design where it's definitely capable of doing some damage to me. Uh-oh. Okay, though they just played a dinosaur. I was going to say, ooh, this is so interesting. They could attack, but then they don't get to attack next turn. But what they've done is they've given the Compass Gnome the buff, so we're actually just going to double block the 6/6. Get that guy out of here. We've drawn a Braid, which doesn't kill that. We play a 7th land and use this Clay-Fired Bricks on... So we could flip this. Make 2 2/2s. Yeah, this is probably just the safest thing to do here. Just exile the artifact from the graveyard, because I don't really want to braid a 2/1. This gets me a 2-for-1. It gets me something on the board that can use this torch, and I'm really in trouble, because the 5/6 is going to hit me, and then it's representing lethal, but I also don't have a way of removing it. That is pretty scary. It's pretty scary. An opponent plays a Gargantuan Leech. Oh my goodness. What is that? It's just a 5/5 with lifelink. So we could kind of team up on it. If we go... Wait a minute. How much mana do we have? We have 7 mana. So we can spend 4 on the Rock Slide, 2 in a Braid, and 1 on this Torch. So that's actually enough to kill this Leech. to kill both things. Where we start with the rock slide the 6/5, then equip the torch, and then abrade, deal 3 damage to target creature, and attack. That worked out very cleanly. Exact lethal damage on their last creature. Let's see if the opponent can play one more scary card. They got a couple lands here. This land's just 2 counters. This land doesn't really do anything interesting. I'm going to keep attacking. Play this militia. I really wish I had an artifact, but I don't, so we'll have to be patient. I do like that I flipped this kiln, though. This kiln is sweet. Just having this glorious anthem. What is that card? I'm not familiar with it. Whoa, no. I don't just play multiple cards. I don't know what they do. When it enters the battlefield, it deals 5 damage to target creature and opponent controls. And then you get a treasure token. So I'm going to just abrade, shatter that, because I do not want them getting tokens. And I need to read this card. Destroy non-basic land and opponent controls that player may search for basic. Oh, okay. So that's not good. Here's my dinosaur. We're going to get to start making treasures. Or I guess not. I died. This isn't good, clean fun. I'm going to attack for 2, keeping this land in hand in case we draw the Tormenting Voice card. Don't play a giant monster. Don't do it. Spelunking. That let them draw a card. They drew Hidden Nursery. They're going to be able to activate the nursery. That hits. Oh no, they're doing well over there. Then they got another chance, which is going to let them get 2 things back from their graveyard to their hand, which are both going to be enormous things. What did they just mill here? Hulking Raptor? That one's not that scary. It doesn't have trample. Probably one of the things they're going to get is going to be the Indestructible Grantor, this Spike Tail. So they'll play one thing one turn, and then play the Spike Tail the next turn and attack, so I can't immediately trade for the thing that's attacking. So not looking good. Not looking good for me. That was a pretty great turn of events for them. So they got this big trampler and also a lifelinker. Uh-oh, I think we might be dead. What does this card do? It costs 1 less for each cave. I'm not sure how many. Okay, they can cast it. Alright, so we need to. We're kind of dead. We can chump the leech, go to 1. Maybe we don't die if we draw Tormenting Voice into castable spells. And that is a land. Oh no, it's a 1/1. We're at 1 life. That's not good. Okay, yep, you got me. We've been defeated. It was a good game. Alright. Let's see if we can recover for the next match. The sand seems good enough. Got our Tormenting Voice, got a removal spell, we got a 1-drop. What more can you ask for? Skullcap Snail. So I get to choose to exile one of these things. I could just exile the Dreadmaw's Ire. That might be the safest. But they also just might play an artifact and be able to kill it for 1 mana. Sounds pretty good. Yeah, I'm gonna get rid of that guy. It's just the safe play. So we get to go Lattice here. Oh, that's a lot of lands. I regret my choice. We descended by putting that thing in the graveyard. We get to scry. We're going to go draw a 3-drop on turn 3. Not going to complain, especially because that's a dinosaur, which means we can craft it masterfully. Opponent's got this Necromage. I believe I want to hold back. I know this is kind of a crummy block, but I think it's actually quite likely that the opponent is trying to get some damage in, and I would rather, yeah. This block, on the other hand, I'm quite happy with. Even though they get these 1/1s. The 1/1s can't block, they're not really terrifying to me long term. Okay. I can abrade that. And then start trading 4 for 4 damage. Yeah, is that good? It's not great. What do I do? Well, I definitely want to keep the rock slide in my hand, because they might play like a 5/5. I want to be able to kill that. I can't really craft this thing until my dinosaurs go away. I'm just gonna braid. And then I could not trade, but trade damage, I mean, but trading damage here seems kind of fine. Doesn't seem like a big loss. I'm ahead. The Raptor prevents them from doing tricky things, and I have no tricky things that the Raptor is preventing me from doing. I hope they don't have a second removal spell because, as we've already seen, I'm quite light on actual stuff. But I can't do much about that. Hidden Courtyard was awkward draw there. I really would like to have drawn it last turn. So, because now I can't play it this turn. I might want to activate it next turn, but I can't activate it next turn and play the 4/4 this turn, so we're stuck. Yeah, don't have a removal spell? Okay, they had a removal spell. Yikes, now we're behind. This is not terrible, actually. This is kind of acceptable versus a gang of 1/1s. They're going to have to remove it, or they won't be able to attack. Opponent has their own Discover Cave. Got a Tally's Favor, which I would like to not cast just in case they have a removal spell that they decided not to use. Like maybe they have like a big removal spell. I'm going to cast Plundering Pirate. So that's another 3/2, and I'm just going to assume they don't have anything, so I'm going to attack with this. It is interesting whether I should play this land, because it is possible the opponent can play a 7 toughness creature, and then I draw a land. I wish I could Rock Slide for 7. But it's also possible the opponent just plays another snail, and I really wish that I had a land in hand. So I'm gonna lean towards the snail. So they're gonna get an attack for 3, but it's not terrible for me. We're gonna get to cast a Tally's Favor. It looks like a Tally's Favor land, play the Rock Slide. So let's try this. We're gonna put it on the Trampler, I think, because the Trampler is the one I want attacking. That goes into Militia. Sure. Play the land, Rock Slide, kill the 6/6, and then I think we go to combat and say, take 7? No, they're chump blocking. I'm happy if opponent's chump blocking. That's good. That's good for me. That's not good for me. That's a 4/4 with flying and lifelink, and what does this do? Each opponent discards a card. If they can't, you draw. Whenever opponent discards a land, make a 1/1 bat. Okay, well, I'm going to have to attack with this guy and hope to bluff the opponent into blocking, which happened, which surprisingly happened. How do they transform this back? Activate only if player has 1 or fewer cards in hand and only as a sorcery. It's just a player, so it works on me too, but I can at least make things difficult for them by not playing land. Uh-oh. Never mind, that it's coming back. How do I stop this? This is really bad. I don't have an answer for a 4/4 that doesn't die and has a lifelink, so I can't race it. Now they get to activate Soul Pyre. The Soul. Why can I not say Soul Coil? Well, we seem to have died again. In my defense, I drew a lot of lands that game, even if many of them are in the graveyard in exile. Alright, well, let's give it another try. We're playing against Zamboni. It says, there's some fascinating tension between Poetic Ingenuity and Clay-Fired Bricks, where you really want to play this Ingenuity before you play your artifacts. But also, we don't have a third land, so we might have to. What I think I might do is... Yeah, so I'm not going to play this Bricks on 2. I would really much rather play the Ingenuity first. And we can afford to end up a little bit behind as a result of having to wait. I think what I want to do is play the Raptor first. I think I don't mind trading damage. I don't mind if they kill it. And in fact, if they attack, I'm not going to block because of this Ingenuity. I'm going to be able to attack, make a treasure, and use the treasure to cast the bricks, and then make a dinosaur off that. That's probably like pretty good. One's got Preacher of the Schism, which is itself probably pretty good. We got this Glyph Bridge, which is the thing we will be focusing on. So let's just read this red for a second. 2/4 Death Touch when it attacks. If I have the most life or tie with the most life, they get a 1/1 with a lifelink. So that's annoying. That's a 1/1 for the Glyph Bridge. And if they have the most life, then they draw a card and lose a life. Okay, no, I think I want to play the Ingenuity here. Play it, gonna go to combat, hit them, make a treasure. I kind of am hoping the opponent can trade for some of my resources and then go to glyphs. But basically, I'm not going to be able to use the Glyph Bridge until they find something better over here. So really, why am I saying better? Until they play something that I would rather leave them with. It is really awkward, like giving them. Maybe I should have just held the dinosaur back and threatened to block this. The reason I didn't want to do that is because then they just play a removal spell and then I've missed 4 damage. I've missed potentially a good trade because I really do want to get this indestructible gainer off the board as soon as I can. Yeah, so I'm just hoping my opponent plays like something that makes one of those 1/1s. What the heck is this? That's another rare. Okay. Surveil 2, then for each card you put on top, draw a card and lose 3. And it's got Descend 8, which they're miles away from playing. I think I'm going to go to combat first. I'm going to attack. So I acknowledge that this gives them an extra life if they block like this. But, oh, wait, I'm really stupid. Oh no, that was really bad. I'm like, oh, I acknowledge that's going to give them extra life, but then I can leave them, then I get to make this treasure, and when I'm attacking, I'm leaving them with just the 1/1 lifelink, but now that they got rid of the 1/1 lifelink, I can't actually do that. So I have to actually just do nothing. That really sucks. That's just me being very dumb and not being used to this strange rare. It's okay, we'll get them next turn. They get to make a 1/1, which puts them back where we start. The only real difference is that we're taking like 6 damage. Oh, really? You didn't cast any spells? Oh, come on. I just want you to cast some spells. Nope. No, not casting spells. We're gonna play the Glyph Bridge, I think. Yeah, let's just play this here. I get to make a dinosaur, which then dies. I wonder what they're holding up here. I'm going to play... How much do these cost? So this costs 7 on the other side, and this costs 5. I kind of want to play this militia to block their lifelinker. The thing I'm most annoyed by is that somehow I can't actually trigger Descend on the bat here, even though I just killed a bunch of my things. Because Descend doesn't work on tokens, and I missed my chance. Alright, we'll find out what's happening here. Maybe they just sack the courtyard because they're flooded. That's what I'm hoping happens. I'm hoping they sack the courtyard because it means they flooded. Was not hoping that the opponent had drawn a 5/6. That's really just not at all good for me. So what do these two do on the other side? So this is a 5/3 flying. This is a... And do I have things in the grave? I don't have things in the graveyard. Wait, that's not good. Oh man, I'm just screwing this up everywhere. So what I was supposed to do is definitely not cast this militia so that I can craft with the treasure token. But I didn't think about that. And now... uh-oh. Like, I don't really want to sack one of these because this is such a powerful dude. So I guess I just don't. I guess I have to just let the opponent do their thing. Uh-oh. Opponent continues the parade of large things. I've drawn a braid, which doesn't actually answer any of these because they're too big. I could try flipping this, but it's really just a 5/3. It just trades for that. I'd have to flip both of these for that to be good, and I can't really do that. Maybe I should be attacking with the bat? No, that's probably silly. I don't know what I'm supposed to do here, because they're gonna hit me for 8. Like, how am I getting out of this? They got, at worst, the courtyard. Yeah, so the courtyard happens, get them a Death Toucher. That seems... It's not that relevant, but I think I have to hold this to try to trade for one of the larger creatures instead of trade... Ooh! Ooh, that's a real card. Hello. So we can go Saw Blades first, kill the Sandwing. Heck, we can go Saw Blades, a Braid, kill the Spiketail. That might be better. And then we have 4 mana left over, which can craft the Saw Blades. Let's try that. Oh, right, we also get the 3/1, which is what I've been wanting this whole time. So we're going to kill this 5/6, because otherwise that's going to be just very difficult to remove. I suppose that 3/5 might also be difficult to remove, but I haven't thought this through. Yeah, so we're going to get that flyer, and maybe that flyer will be enough to keep us reasonably happy. And also, I'm going to attack for 1. So this vehicle here has crew 1, and also you can crew it using 2 random artifacts, assuming we ever have a second artifact. And wouldn't mind trading this off, although I don't really want to trade it for that thing. Well, and that just kills me. This doesn't have a reach, right? Alright, we've been defeated. Final score is 2-3. What have we learned? Well, I think the first thing we learned is I think I have some color preferences in this format. I think there's a reason that Jeskai colors have been doing pretty well, because they're open, because you can get a Braid's 8th pick, so who cares if you took black cards the first 6 picks at the draft? Doesn't matter. I wish I had, had taken advantage of that, had a few extra good cards. We definitely lost some games to really strong rares, but we also lost some games to just very poor lineup of our cards versus the opponent's cards, and not having an excellent understanding of the format. I'm not sure what to do about that other than need to get more reps in. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.